Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have two amazing.
She don't wanna feel different anymore. No, she wants to be the one.
And it's a true.
She don't wanna feel different anymore. No, she wants to be the one society can adore. And Lord knows what happened to the man with a broken heart. She don't wanna feel different anymore. No, she wants to be the one society can adore. And Lord knows what happened to the man with a broken heart. Do you hear him? Hear him crying? Oh, I'm begging you now, people, I'm down on my knees, begging please, oh please, could you learn to love again?
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have two amazing guests here every Thursday at 4. Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have Reem Kadam. How are you, Reem?
Hi, I'm doing well. My gosh, just keeping busy in this quarantine.
Keeping busy. You're always busy. You're like so busy. Today you said you're on a deadline, writing a script. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm hired for a script right now. It's under non-disclosure, not to be pretentious or anything, but I've been hired to write this film. It's very exciting. And
can you let us know what it's about, like genre?
On a book, that's kind of all I can say. I'd love to say more, later on when I can disclose more information. But it's a really powerful story, and it's a true story. I can say that as well.
Nice.
And it's interesting, when you're adapting a true story, the elements involved, because it's a precious thing. I've written a few true stories, and it's a precious thing when you're dealing with family or the real person or whoever is involved. You're dealing with people that are so close to it. So it's really exciting once you can meet that theatrical license and that cinematic license and the true story and combine them to make it the best possible film. It's very cool when you kind of get on that same page.
Have you met with the people that this is based on?
The person that this is based on is out of the state, so we've video conferenced. Yeah.
Wow,
but I haven't. We haven't met in person.
How'd you get involved in this? Because
really
you're an
exciting.
actress, but now you're a writer. How did that happen?
So basically, I've been writing for a long time. I started writing. I was inspired to write when I was in my acting class one day. My acting teacher had mentioned to get up and just do a monologue. And by the way, which way should I be looking? I know that's funny, and I'm. It's
you're fine,
guys,
girl.
so.
I see you.
Am I looking right? Am I looking over there?
Girl, you're good.
Okay, I'm looking over here.
The show must go on.
That was an improv moment. Just on the fly. We're just going like this.
Yeah.
Right? Who's on fourth? Who's on second? No. So basically, I started writing when I was very young. Not very young, but just early adult life. I talk like I'm like 7 years old right now. Back in my day, when I was a young girl, found that very funny for myself. But no,
You're an old soul, so you are like back in the day. Remember, we talked about this before, old souls.
yeah, exactly. I know. So so I feel like writing is the creation of a world. It's a fantastic thing. I clung to it. It was the first story that really got to me was a story back in my day that was inspired loosely from my mom. And so it kind of just ignited something in me. I did a monologue in my acting class.
About your mom?
I got, yeah, it was kind of inspired by her, about this woman that was in, the Soviet Union. She was like in this jail, and her name was Petra, and I had like the Russian accent like this, I was that, and the accent, and what's going on? What's igniting this for me? And I realized it was connecting back because my mom fled Iraq and escaped to the Soviet Union back when Saddam Hussein was president. And so yeah, that ignited everything for me. And I was in my acting teacher Carrie Scott's class at the time, and I studied with him the longest. He's a fantastic teacher from San Diego. He's done like 100 film and TV shows, but he had probably the biggest impression on me as an acting coach, just because I've been with him the longest. And he's fantastic. I was in the class, and he had us get up, and then we just did monologues. And after that, I started talking to my mom, and then I ended up majoring in screenwriting later. And here I am, nearly over 10 feature scripts later on my own, and not including revisions that I've been hired on and worked for hire projects and stuff like that. So,
how did your mom feel about that, and that you were impacted and that you took that character on? Was she proud?
Oh yeah, like at first it was really funny because I remember my mom was like, I was sitting down with voice recorder, and I'll never forget couch, and I was about to record her, giving me her whole take on what happened. She goes, "You're really going to be in this?" "Yeah, Mom, are you kidding?" She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Really?" Like, this is amazing. Like, you're a hero.
That is so crazy.
So, yeah, like I really likened her to like a Joan of Arc, like a Middle Eastern, because my mom was like very revolutionary. I mean, she fought against the regime at that time. It was something that was kind of very taboo to do that, and to kind of lead this, just lead a group of people to want freedom for their country and to want to have a voice. And, Saddam Hussein was like the Hitler of Iraq, and the Ba'athist regime was like, they were like the Nazis of Iraq.
So what's your ethnic background? Your parents are from Iraq or Iran?
I'm Iraqi, yeah, and Iraq, so yeah, they're neighbors. Iranian would be like Persian, and they speak Farsi. People think I'm Iranian a lot because we look similar.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you could play everything.
Yeah, oh, thanks. Thank you, Sparkle. But yeah, so it's like us, our cultures, because you're Armenian, right?
Right.
Yeah, so there's like this like ambiguity, right? Sometimes
yeah.
People don't know what you are or something. I'm like, I'm human. That's what counts.
So when she was going through all of that, she was in prison. Who was the one trying to imprison them? Well, what were they fleeing?
Well, my mom actually was thrown in jail by the Ba'athist regime, and luckily she did get out and she fled the country.
Within Iraq.
In her position have been raped and killed. And yeah, my mom was thrown in jail. My mom's father, my grandfather, thrown in and out of jail. The revolution in his own right, and it really put a big threat on the family. And my mom's youngest brother, Mohammed, was actually killed by the regime, and she found out years later after Saddam Hussein was killed, and there was a list that came out, and it was revealed to us that he was in fact handicapped, and around 19 years old he was killed. So
because he was handicapped?
Back in the day, he was handicapped by them, drugged, all those things, abused. I forget, there was ways that was found out, but it was a terrible thing. And my grandmother, bless her heart, may she rest in peace. I mean, I remember the Ba'athists would come to her home looking for my mother. My mother had fled the country. I just got chills. My mother fled the country, and she left Iraq. And, I wouldn't be here today. None of us would be here today, my brother and sister and I, if it wasn't for the fact that she was brave enough to say, I need to get the heck out of town. And they would come to the home, and my grandmother, she was a very simple woman. She had like 9 kids, bless her heart. And they would say, where is she? We're looking for your daughter. Where is she? And like, she was trembling inside, but she just says, she pretended like she didn't have memory. She said, I don't know. I don't remember. Ooh. I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. So she pretended and feigned that. and it saved her
And it
life.
worked.
But she ended up dying of cancer.
Wow, and you're writing other people's stories. This story is so exciting. I want to see the movie.
Yeah,
of this.
I already wrote it. Oh no, I wrote this.
So you've
one
written
already.
this one already.
Yeah, this one, there's a nice, really exciting production that have worked with some major A-listers that they want to help produce the project. And
Are you going to play your mom?
I would love to. Listen, at the end of the day, it'd be amazing. And, you know, having done Know All the Jewel, it goes in line with that, you know. But, yeah, that's my dream. It's a dream role. It really is. But I've come to the point, you know, Sparkle, that let's see what happens. And, you know, I'd love to play the role. And if it means that, you know, I take a back seat on the role because they're going to go to somebody else, give me a chance to screen test, baby, and I'll give you all I got.
But when you write it, okay, so explain this to me. You don't own, when you write it, you sell it and then they own the movie? Do you own part of it because you wrote it? Explain how this works.
Yeah, that's a great question. Basically, there's different ways to go about it. You can have an option agreement. An option basically is like they'll pay you some money up front for a period of time where they can shop the project, and they have exclusive rights to do it. So production company A, you know, just as an example, if you're Plan B, right, or, you know, this is Brad Pitt's company, I think it was Jennifer Aniston and Brad's at the time, but let's say Plan B or Will Smith's company, they want to option your project. They'll pay you an upfront payment, and then it's an option literary purchase agreement. So basically, once it is in execution for the deal to move forward and for people to come in and want to produce the project and get it made and packaged, when it's financed, then you get the rest of your money. And it depends how the agreement is, you know, like if it says on the first day of production, you'll get the rest of your funds, and then you get a back end as well. You get points. So it's all according to how it's agreed by your representative and such. But typically it's like a shopping period. They pay you for that exclusivity. You can't take it anywhere else. Sometimes you get it bought right out. You know, I mean, there's people that come out of USC, UCLA, you know, and come right out and then sell a script for over $1 million, you know, so
Wow.
It really just depends.
So regarding this project, you said you don't have to audition for it. So you sold it to, and they own the rights?
No, I haven't sold it yet. So basically, it's been in different hands in recent, you know, in the recent years right now. And the latest draft, actually, it's out to financiers in Australia. It has a rough budget right now, and then I have a big company that has produced some A-list projects that want to produce it. They all came back with like, oh my God, this project's amazing, and they talked to the sales company. They had 4 different coverages come back. Coverage is basically the notes that come back and feedback from a production company. So the head producer who was at a former company left, is now a head producer at a different company. He just produced movies with like Robert De Niro and a lot of other big stars. And he wants to be one of the head guys on it. So we're still working things out. You know, my financiers in Australia are confident there's money. And I'm also writing the novel version as well. So I am more than
you're shopping that at the same time, the novel and the movie?
I'm not done with the novel yet, so but I'm almost done. And once I finish this script, I think I'm going to be hired for another script soon, so it's going to be a little busy. But I'd like to write the book as soon as I can, hopefully before the end of the year.
Oh, and you say you're trying to stay busy during the quarantine. This is the Reem I know.
No, I am. It's been busy. It's been busy. Yeah.
I'm exhausted listening to this. I'm like, wow, you're my hero.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet.
Okay, so explain the movie where you won all these awards.
By the way, we had fun in Fresno.
What
was that?
And in LA, I've seen you in LA too. The movie that you won all these awards. You got to explain it. And can we all watch it now?
So we were just in talks to go ahead and shop it to get it with distribution. They were dealing with some different things right now that they were deciding on what distribution to go with.
For Jewel?
And then, for Know All the Jewel, and then the pandemic hit and all this stuff was coming down. So it's not available for the public yet.
Because it's gone to the film festival. Is it still attached to the film festivals?
No. We run festival portion in the last several months.
Okay.
So we just wrapped it. And we were actually just about to go out to some really great people. But right now, I think we're still going to go ahead and submit it to a couple of companies for distribution. We already have some interest pending. We just wanted to do like a really proper shopping of it. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think it'll all come into fruition for the public, hopefully in the next few months.
I can't wait, because you have like won awards. I know this is a really deep character. I mean, knowing your history with your family, I could see where you had a lot of material to dwell from. whatever you can explain about the character and how you studied for it and were prepared for it, that would be great.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much. It was the greatest role of my career. I was given a role that was a tour de force. It is inspired by the life of Rehana Jabari. It doesn't take a lot to feel an emotional depth when you think about a woman like her. She, basically, she died prematurely, and she was killed by an officer.
Why? Can you explain a little bit of the backstory for people that don't know it all? Explain.
She defended her life against an officer, and forgive me, she was not killed by an officer, but not the officer that raped her, but she was killed by the Iranian government.
Okay.
And basically what happened was that she defended her life against an officer that attempted to rape her. And he did rape her, and basically she defended herself against that. And what happens in Iran is, no matter what, even if an officer is going to attack you like that, the men rule in a country like that. Very sadly, I can't just even fathom living in a country like that. But what's even more bizarre, at least it gives them a chance, is that the wife of someone like that, so in this case, the officer that raped her, he's like, let's say he's dead, he's injured, whatever happened to him, the family has to forgive the girl in order for the girl to live. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So yeah, so I won't give it away because I'd love for a lot of people to see this movie later, but we do try to end with some sort of hope. But what I will say is that there was a lot of inspiration, preparation. I prepared tremendously. First of all, I have like a notebook that I use, and I'm a method actor, so I get very deeply involved in becoming that person from the inside out. But I take a lot of notes. I really just, music plays a big role for me. I think about things like, animals and colors and patterns, and all kinds of stuff pops in my head. But the wardrobe helps me, and I mean, it was day in and day out. I also shot this in 2 languages, so I locked myself in my home for 10 hours a day, and I learned a language called Malayalam. And I didn't even know what a Malayalam was. I was like, Mela who? I was kidding.
So you really just learned a language for this role?
Yeah, so basically we shot 2 versions, and here's the kicker. We did end up, showing the Malayalam version, but I actually, the international version is the English one. And then get this, like 3 weeks before flying out, they say, hey, what if we have an English version? So the English version that ended up becoming the version only was decided like less than 3 weeks before I was in the country. And I was like, okay. So I started now translating the different, even more, just to better construct the language and translate for that version. And we were translating on the spot during times with the other. Wow. And then like my director, Renchal Damadoran, would go, English, Malayalam. So like literally it would be from one take to the other. I felt like at one point I was like, am I going schizo over here? But it was pretty crazy. And I think a really big thing for me too, the music. My best friend Ashley Garland, Budzik, sang a song called Mother, and we had a conversation, and there was a message that Rihanna left for her mother before she died, and it's an incredible message. It's online as well. And I told her, I said, hey, what if you did a song based on this? And she's like, oh my God, I love that. And it's on iTunes. It's called Mother. It played such a huge role in the emotional depth of my character. And I would listen to that song constantly. In fact, the crew started to know, okay, Reem needs to listen for a minute. So I would step away for a second. I would go listen. I'd come back. I'd be sobbing. And I'd be like, we're ready. So, yeah.
That is so impressive. You are so incredible, Reem. I can't even, I've never heard a story like this about all the languages in the one movie. As someone learning a language like that, I mean, how long did it take you to learn this?
So it was like about 4 months of my life. And like, I remember it was just crazy, they wanted to go and like Valerie McCaffrey was there too, and they wanted to go and tour. And bless their hearts, I don't blame them, but I was not in a mindset to touring. And I did, I went for a little bit, but I was like, yeah, I think, study. Like, and finally they're like, Reem, we're gonna go and you're gonna come and have some fun with us. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'm like saying Malayalam lines in my head to myself.
So how did you know you were saying it right? Did you have a coach?
So, one of the producers was helping me a lot. My director helped me a lot. So, Renjulal Damodaran and Alan Matters, both of them had helped a lot in doing Skypes and going through stuff with me, for sure, for sure. There were, some intense, crazy stuff. And then, there's monologues. This was also written almost like very formally Malayalam. It wasn't even like slang Malayalam. It was like really intense, so it was crazy. But so we used the English version, and I'm very proud of the work that I did in it. I like to think I'm my harshest critic, or one of them, and I'm pretty harsh of just looking at my work and being always wanting excellence. And I feel very strongly about it. I was really glad to be able to make such a good friend with a talented actor like Adit Hussain. I worked with Shweta Menon, who has worked in so many films, and she's worked all around India. Anjali Upasana had just won awards, and actually. And she won the Kerala State Film Award, which is very recognized there. And she came on and played. A lot of actually very respected Indian actors came on. Sudhir Karamana, I'm pronouncing his name, I think, wrong. But there's just some great actors that came into this.
Did you get to meet her real family?
So later on, I actually met Sholay Pakravan via video. I was sniffing around a little bit and trying to find out, can I find her? It was never during shooting. It didn't really hit me to go there. And I was so under the gun that I was like absorbed in just learning what I had to do, because I was dealing on an emotional, psychological level for the character and on a language level with the lines, so it was a lot, So I wasn't even actually thinking about, let me reach out and find out who's someone. It didn't cross my mind at that time. I guess I should have tried to seek her out beforehand. But, I remember why. My director was afraid of a terrorist attack. Seriously. Because what came down with everything, and we were in India, and then we went to a Middle Eastern country in Oman. If they found out we were doing a film that was going to defy a Middle Eastern government like that, it could be tricky. And there could be a potential attack, or they could have some sort of backlash on it. So we actually kept it under wraps for that reason. We didn't talk about Rihanna until afterwards.
That's so crazy. Just the making of this movie is just as intense as the movie. This is like a really good behind the stories.
To be honest, I actually want to write a comedy about the making of, and about an American woman like me going out to shoot a movie with the Malayalam language, because I have stories, girl. I have stories. I'm telling you, it's something else. It's funny. There's a lot of funny stuff. And there's, it would take theatrical license as well. So I guess people won't know exactly what's true and what isn't. But
you are funny, girl. I could see you doing some comedy.
Oh, thank you. I have a line, I say, they tell me to do stand up, I tell them to sit down, But but I enjoy it. No, I've been told to do stand up, and you know what? I want to do it, but again, Sparkle, it's one of those things for me where I want to achieve excellence. And so I want to do a really great job, and I just don't want to just wing it. I want to have my jokes ready. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to get up there and be like, I'm ready. Like, here I am, hear me roar, So that if they don't laugh, I'll be like, I'm good. If they don't laugh, I think I just say, all right, fine, who can break it first?
Reem, what can we expect from you this year, 2020?
Oh gosh, I'm hoping that you're going to see a lot more of announcements with a couple projects of me as a writer, announcements hopefully in the trades of projects that are getting packaged with some stars. Taking it to another level right now with that. I'm hoping that you will hear more about some TV, some TV work that I'll be doing, and also other film work. I will say that I know we're in a pandemic right now, and I just want to say my heart goes out to everybody in this confusing time. I just saw an article by Deadline saying basically that they don't know where the industry is going to be exactly, but that there's going to be riders signed for kissing scenes, and people are it's going to be like an insurance thing where it's going to be riskier going into a high risk environment. Who knew that going onto a set was going to be a high risk environment because you had to touch lips with somebody else? I talk about a gun, but touching lips, I don't know. So that's where we're at, So I guess, if they ask me to do a kissing scene, we'll ask for more money.
I love it. Acting wise, is there anything we can expect from you in 2020 that's coming out that you worked on?
Well, you know what? Right now, because I've been busy with the writing, there was some stuff pending, and then everything sort of hit. with this pandemic. Right now, I don't have anything to announce specifically. There's a couple things in the works, but they're still under wraps right now.
And health-wise, you look great. You've been doing some stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Thank
what you got going on.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You know what? It's an amazing thing. I'm promoting and endorsing a product. I was asked to come on board, and just the owner of the company, it's called Power Immunity, and the owner of the company said, I'd love for you to endorse this. And I told him that I would only do it if I basically felt that it was an amazing product. And I got to tell you, I've never tried a product like this before. If people want to know more, they can email power2immunity@gmail.com. That's power2immunity@gmail.com. And again, it's the number 2. And they can always inquire with you or something if they want to know more. And
so how'd you get in this? This sounds exciting.
Well, it's just, you know what? I've been big on health. He knew a little bit of my background because I was actually number 1 in sales when it came to like spa packages and health stuff. Back in my day, I was really, really strong in this.
And now you're trying to act old back in your day. Reem, so your birthday, happy birthday, 21.
Thank you so much.
You're always 21 in the film industry, right? That's what they tell us.
Right, exactly. Wait, very close to it, so it's okay.
Do you have anything fun planned? You're going to go to San Diego, right?
I'm going to San Diego as the plan. I mean, gosh, I make the joke, 6 feet apart, clubbing in the quarantine, just kidding.
I know I had my birthday at the end of March. I feel your pain. It was like, what are you going to do? And then people are like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, is this a joke?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, it's just crazy. It's crazy what's going on. It's a different world right now, but it's going to be great. Honestly, I just make the best of everything. As you can see, I'm not busy at all and have nothing to do. Right. No, this is what I love about you. It's like, when you're that kind of person, you persevere. And I mean, you played these deep characters that were in prison. So you're kind of like, how to put your mind above your circumstances. Appreciate life. Yeah. Well, it definitely helps you appreciate life. It's, right? I feel like, when you go through something like that, you kind of look at everything, and we always have to constantly be reminded, I think, as people, like, it's all relative, but at the end of the day, guess what? We do have shelter, we do have food, we have a lot of things. We look at the homeless that are sitting on the street during quarantine, and we say, wow, we are lucky.
We have this right now. You and I are communicating 3 hours away.
Absolutely.
We're like face to face.
I know.
People are watching.
I know. We got to do another Fresno. We got to do another reunion with your mom, Tara, for sure.
Oh, yeah. My mom loves you. It's a big.
I love her.
It's a good little community that we've built.
Definitely. For sure. And Fresno, I really enjoyed. Like, I actually really. Let's talk about Fresno for a minute. I shot a ball. No, really though. Am I interviewing?
Oh yeah, you're India. No, you're India. Your India music video. That's what you're gonna talk about, right?
Right. And you came. That's how we connected in Fresno, and basically, that got picked up by a very big company. It's slipping my mind, but they're like one of the top 3. Zed India. My co-actor and the director producer is like, how? He's probably thinking to himself, how can you not remember? But it's a very, very big company. This is what I love about you. It's like saying MTV.
This is because I forgot what you played every race. That's why I'm like, wait, is she this? I knew you were in India, but I was like, Iraq and Iran, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's played literally everything there is, and I love it, and you adapt to it so well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Meryl Streep's my hero, so I mean, who doesn't love her, right? I mean, she's unbelievable. So at the end of the day, if I can have a thread of her career, I'll die happy, and hopefully I can write myself some rules that will allow that.
You're winning awards like her. And did you say mention her in your awards and your speech?
I might have mentioned her in one of my speeches, and if I didn't,
you did.
It's more reason to get more awards, so I can start mentioning her.
I know your speeches, girl. I know your speeches more than you.
Yeah.
I love your speeches. I love your dresses. Who picks out your dresses, by the way?
So I end up picking them out, but they're from a designer that I've used for a long time. He's so good to me. His name is Shekhar Rahati, and he's extraordinary. I've used all kinds of dresses of his for the India shoot, for Nawala Jewel, for events. Shekhar Rahati, Shekhar Rahati, Shekhar Rahati. I love him, and I recommend him, and he's amazing.
And he could guys need to design stuff for us if we want to.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. He has a bunch of dresses. So if you have a big occasion and you're out to promote him, definitely let me know, and I'll connect you guys,
That's
great.
amazing, Reem. We're so excited
Yeah, he helps
for
people
you.
for the Oscars and everything. Oh,
We're so excited to see all you have going on, and we got to go to your website. Do you post on your website or Instagram? Where do you post what's going to go on for you?
Yeah, let them go. Let them go to my social media and everything. They can go to a lot of the actors these days are posting on their social media. So RM Kadam, that's my name, my first initial R, and then M Kadam, my last name Kadam, Kadem, at RM Kadam. And then they can follow the Facebook page as well.
Instagram, Facebook, and then
Facebook, Reem Kadam, and then I don't really use Twitter much. I think I probably will later, but
you don't have a website either.
No, a lot of actors don't keep websites. It's kind of not. It's kind of like it's not a thing like necessarily for an actor to have. Many will have it if they want to.
I just want the links to see all your films. That's the only reason I'd want a website. But as long as you keep updating on Instagram where we can see it, then we'll be happy.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank
absolutely.
You so
of course. I'm going to be updating you guys on that for sure, and just love the support. Really appreciate it. And it's it's definitely a knock you right in the stomach and open your eyes big on a film like that. But it took everything out of me, and I'm really happy for fulfilling what I felt. I can honestly say that I fulfilled in every frame of that I'm happy with that performance. So that's really good. That makes me really happy.
Thank you so much, Reem. We appreciate you. Have a great birthday.
Thank you so much, Sparkle. You rock, and thank you for the interview.
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us is Sean Antonio. I'm so excited, Sean.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm extraordinary. It's a beautiful Tuesday, April 14th, and I'm on fire. Woke up on the right side of bed today, so just on it.
So tell us about the book you wrote.
Well, I wrote 2 books. First of all, hi guys. I'm Sean Antonio. I'm a life coach. Huge life coach. I coach all types of people all over the world.
Oh yeah, let's go down the list of everything you are. It's a long list.
It's a long list, but I'll give you the 3 mains right now. I'm a life coach, motivational speaker, and author. So I've been coaching for about 9 years now, and I've coached thousands of people around the world in Spanish and in English, so I do that for a living. And a couple years ago, 3 years ago specifically, I got inspired to write some books. So I wrote one book called Be the Beast You Are. And
I love that.
Thank you so much. It's about being your true self and stepping into your true self. It's part of the Finding Your Fire series, and it's on Amazon, and it's $8 a pop, and it's like millennial size. It's super small, and it's applicable to your life now. So
that's a great gift. That's a great gift to give to people.
Yeah, it's been around since July 20th of 2017, and then I followed it up with book number 2, Having Amazing Relationships. Same Finding Your Fire series, and this is about all of your relationships being amazing and epic and connected and beautiful. And this book, which I haven't got my copy yet, just won Reader's Favorite 5 stars a couple weeks ago. So I'm super stoked. So both my books have been flying off the, not shelves, but like the virtual shelves of Amazon. So these are my books. I'm super proud of them. Be the Beast You Are has been one of my, Having Amazing Relationships has been flying and working for people's relationships. And Be the Beast You Are is about yourself and getting out of your own way. So they've been, they're my babies. And I'm writing book number 3 right now called Just Let Go. And that book is about letting go of all of your things that get in the way of your life being epic. That's it. Just get rid of all the garbage, all the molasses,
So what inspired you to start writing?
I had a tragic moment in my life where my life got a hard reset in January of 2017. And I realized that I wasn't living my purpose. So my wife and I sat down and said, all right, what's next? And at that point in time, as you know, Sparkle, I'd had a pretty crazy, amazing nightlife career for about 17 years here in LA.
Yeah.
Here, LA, Chicago, Vegas, Dallas, Miami. And I got bored. So I said, all right, Sean, what's next? At that point in time, I was 42 years old, and I just got to a point of just going, what am I going to do next that's my heart is speaking? And at that point in time, I had been life coaching since 2011, so I'd been 6 years on the side life coaching, and I decided to take it serious and really sat down and said, what do I want to say to people? And that's when on Valentine's Day, I literally, after our Valentine's Day date, wifey and I sat down and book number 1, Be the Beast You Are. And it just kind of propelled me into writing and becoming an author. And I wanted people to just wake up. So with my coaching and with writing these books, I want to give people the message and the ability to just have the most epic lives they can have on their own. Like actually going out there and just being the best humans they could be. So that inspired me. And I knew at that point in time, millions of people I had met over the years in nightlife. So I just kept pushing the envelope and giving it to people that I knew needed it. And it just kind of built its own little following, like a cult following. So it became, that's it.
That's great. And I know because I'm just like you, I was in the nightlife. It was great. And I think we always think this is going to be temporary, but the money's so good, we keep doing it. And then it's like...
It was addicting, right?
Right.
Addicting.
And it's really hard to let go of it because when you stop doing that, you're going to stop making money for a little bit, essentially. It's just going to happen.
True. But you know what? What I had to look at, Sparkle, I don't know how it was for you, but for me, I had to look at why was I doing nightlife? Like, what was my message behind it? And for me, I got really good at throwing events with all my partnerships all over the world. And I did love what I did. I did 3,600 events in all those 17 years. So I loved what I did. I know, right? Sometimes I had 5 and 6 and 7 events a week. Sometimes I had 2 events in 2 cities in one night. And I just got to a point where I hit a wall, and I had a packed nightclub called Hemingway's at the time in Hollywood. And I remember having my aha moment. Friday nights was my night. And I remember Friday night standing there at my table, packed club, bars packed, celebrities, DJs, going really, really well. And I looked at my wife. My wife looked at me and said, what's that face about? And I went, I think I'm done. Like, I just had this moment. I was just done. I'd seen the mountaintop. I'd thrown the best party ever. I'd been to the best party ever. And I had a beautiful following of amazing people who loved who I was. But I was bored. My soul was no longer lit up by what I was doing. So I had to make some changes.
No, I totally get that. And I mean, it's great because you're thriving now. I know there was a transition between letting go and then writing your book and doing all that, but you're doing great now.
Yeah, moving forward. It took some time, like, built in one day, but it took some time to transform.
That's the hard parts of transition. Transitions are always hard.
Yeah, well, you know what? I call it challenging. I don't use that word hard because hard is a definition that we put in front of ourselves to stop us. But it was a challenge to tell all my people out there in the world that know me as Sean Antonio, Nightlife Guy, to go, hey, guys, I'm a life coach now. And I've been a life coach for a long time. I just never told you, Right. And then started writing a book. And I'm like, how do I write a book? And I had to learn and do my homework and what my style was going to be, what my message was going to be. So my wife, Alicia Antonio, the goddess of awesome, she taught me how to just sit down and focus. And that was the hardest part for me because I'm such a hyper person by nature.
I know.
So I know this is how I am all the time, So to sit down and get really focused and tell everyone, hey guys, I'm no longer doing nightlife. I'm actually doing this. And it was really great because a lot of my friends and supporters were like, Sean, you've always been a life coach. You've always coached me and given me great advice, but now you just have the title. So now, 2020, I have friends I've known for 20, 15, 25, 10 years. They're now like, hey, Sean, I'm ready. Let's go. And they've been calling me, and I'm coaching them, and they're changing their lives. And the pandemic has slowed them down so they can actually reassess what's happening in the world. So it's been phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I think the timing right now of this book is great because I think we're all in that boat and we need some motivation and encouragement.
We are. We also need to make just really deep, guttural changes. Like what's our purpose? Like why? What is your purpose? I know my purpose is to change the world. So I do it through my coaching, through my books, and through my motivational speaking, which is on hold now because I can't travel. But what is our purpose? And that's what the biggest thing I've been kind of really pimping to everybody is like, hey guys, what are we doing? What were we chasing all that time? And that before pandemic quarantine happened, right? What were you doing with your time? What were you doing with your life? How are you treating your body, your soul, your relationships? Like, what was your point of living? And it's just been a really great time to look at that and make active changes. So I'm the guy leading the charge. I'm like, let's go, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's run. Let's do it. So it's going. It's
Well,
happening.
you were always really positive from what I remember, and you didn't seem to get stressed. People don't understand how stressful it is to throw these events in LA, and
Yeah.
they just see the party. They see the end result. They don't see what goes into it. And I remember being stressed out a lot. And I'd look at you, and you were never phased. Like, you just kept going.
Never. You know why, too, Sparkle? I never took it personal. I always, I trusted myself to know the answer to things. And if I didn't have the answer to things, when event breakdowns would happen, or systems like, speakers would go out, or DJs wouldn't show up, or celebrities would drop the ball, or somebody was too drunk, or whatever it was, right? I kind of never took it personal. I just went, all right, how do I solve this? And I don't know if you know this, but they used to call me the fire starter, because I used to be really great at starting parties, but they also called me the fireman, because I used to put out fires. So anything that would go wrong, they'd be like, oh, Sean, can you handle that thing, or handle that, or get on the microphone, say something. So I became so used to being the guy who they came to solve problems, that I don't know, the smile was permanent, because look at what we did for a living. We got to throw events and be part of parties in Hollywood, California for that long, and make great money, and live an alternative lifestyle where we didn't have a 9 to 5, or we were our own bosses. That's
Right.
awesome. That's awesome for me. I think that's amazing.
So did you completely
it was
step away from it? Or do you do events here and there?
I did. I am no longer in events at all. What I do
Not even
now,
game
though,
night?
occasionally. Yeah, no more game night.
I
That
love
lasted
that.
5 years. Game night was great. That game night was all over LA for 5 years in different venues, and it was great. Board games, 40, 50, 60 board games, and sometimes 100 of us, sometimes 20 of us, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so basically, for our audience, we would play board games at big venues. So, especially at that one place across the
Was it
street
Stonefire
from.
Pizza?
Yeah, well, was that across the street
Yes.
where all the celebrities were going out of with the ivy all over it?
Yes.
Okay,
We
so
were
we
talking
can-
about on La Cienega, right by Waring,
Yeah.
north of Melrose. Yes, we were at Stonefire Pizza for, about a year and change.
So there we are, all these intellectual game people, but then they're having the Hollywood. So it's funny how we did it all in that little area.
It was a great, great mix. And yeah, that's what it was, guys, for all you guys out there. It was people bringing board games, or, I think one night we had 180 people there playing board games at Stonefire Pizza. But I moved it around, and people would play board games and connect and go on dates, and we play games like Never Have I Ever and get people in trouble, and it was awesome. But right now, to answer your initial question, I actually consult in nightlife every once in a while and help people get their stuff on point. Obviously, everything's frozen right now. No one's open,
Right.
But doing some gigs and helping people get themselves fixed in what they wanted. I give them great direction. I help design. I bring parties to them occasionally. It's not my thing anymore, but I still have the skill set and I still love it.
Was your daughter part of what inspired the change? You're cute.
Viva. Yeah, Viva Jean. Viva Jean. She, you know what? When we got pregnant, because we got pregnant on purpose, we actually planned it, slowed down, and did everything on purpose and got pregnant, right? For me, I knew that at that point I wanted to be around for my wife and daughter when we found out it was a girl coming. So I knew that nightlife had to kind of shift for me. I couldn't be in nightclubs 4, 5, 6 nights a week. It just couldn't. That lifestyle just doesn't, sustain and be
And
the
then
father.
she dictates your sleeping pattern.
No, she used to. The first couple of years, yeah. Not
Yeah.
anymore. Now we're
Yeah.
golden. Now she's 4.5 years old, so there's a different routine. But we've definitely been kind of killing it with the whole pandemic. We've been up till 1 in the morning watching Disney movies. But we made a really considered change. So we just stopped nightlife in general and just said, all right, what are we going to do to continue to thrive and be awesome, and what skill sets? So my wife also, Alicia, is a writer as well. So she writes amazing books that are out on Amazon as well. You type in her name, Alicia Antonio, and you'll find all types of books. She writes children's books and fiction books. She's actually writing a post-apocalyptic young adult dystopian series right now. It's coming out soon. So she's writing some crazy stuff. So for us, we knew that becoming parents, we had to slow down cautiously. So she was a part of it, but we were already kind of on that, trajectory to go there,
And she's a little mini you, your daughter. She looks just like you. She looks like a little firecracker.
She is. She's amazing. I recently picked up Portuguese just because I found that I'm part Brazilian as far as my ancestry. So I now speak Portuguese. I'm Spanish and Dutch. I don't know if you know that, but I'm Panamanian and Dutch. So I grew up speaking Spanish and Dutch and English, and now I have Portuguese. So I speak all these languages to her, and she's just sponging them up. We're speaking in all types of languages in the house. And it's awesome to watch her because wifey's Australian. So we have this, this hybrid little girl who's just a sponge for everything. And it's been awesome to watch her grow, Really
That's
great.
amazing. So what's next on the agenda for you?
Yeah, well, you know what? Right now, I'll just plug my social media. Right now, I'm at the Fire Series for all you guys out there to follow me. I'm at the Fire Series, TheFireSeries. And the Fire Series is where I post 5 days a week, different motivational and inspirational things about my company.
What is that? Is that the Fire Series? Is that podcast?
It's at Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Those are my profiles. You can find me on as far as my social media. I have a Patreon page as well. You can find me there. I have a Mighty Networks page as well. So you type in Sean Antonio on any of those platforms, you can find me.
So if we Google Firestarter, that can come up too.
You can, the Fire Series.
The Fire Series. Not the Prodigy song.
Yeah. No worries. That's awesome, though. But you know what? If you just Google Sean Antonio, you'll see a bunch of cool stuff that'll show up. But honestly, the easiest way is to go to the Fire Series and you'll find me there. And what's next, honestly, with this pandemic is growing my life coaching business as far as people I'm taking on.
That's what I want to know. Coaching. Online.
Yeah.
How much do you charge and where do we go if we want to be personally coached by you?
Well, it depends. I work on deals. It's a sliding scale. It goes from $100 an hour to $300 an hour, depending on what the person needs and how much work it's going to take.
Do you do group sessions?
I do couple sessions right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do group workshops. So I do couples. I do one-on-one coaching. I do mediations. I do all types of stuff. Whatever level of ship you're at, I do coaching with that as well. I've coached a ton of couples in the past couple of years that are going through many stages in their lives. So I do that as well. But right now, like I said, my range is anywhere between $100 to $300 an hour, and depending on what we're working on. And I do series of 12 sessions. That's how we set it up. Or we do one-offs, or we do a month. And right now, because of the quarantine, I'm being super flexible with people's availability. We're doing it just like this right now.
Right.
And my motivational speaking obviously is on pause right now until we start traveling. But I am writing book number 3, which is Just Let Go and the Art of Letting Go of Our Attachments in Life. So that's super exciting. That's the book I just started March 1st. I'm writing that one right now. And it's just flowing out of me. So
that's
awesome.
a problem we all have. So that's good.
Yeah. We all get attached. That's where I started. I realized my attachments, when I first rubbed up against writing this book, I'm like, where am I attached in life? And I looked at all the things that I'm committed to, and looked at where I really thrive and where I struggle. And I looked at all the places I struggle, and we all struggle in those parts. So that's what I've been focusing on too. And I have a teachable school online for my courses, guys. So I have some free courses online. One is called Reset Your World, and it's the perfect course to do right now. Reset Your World is designed to be done. I released it last April 2019, and it's a free course, and it's designed to be done in 1 month. And it's really a cleansing and a detoxifying of your life. It's a free course. And I was trending in India last year at one point because everyone in India was just buying it. Like, it was free, obviously, but they're like, oh my God. And this one girl did it in 24 hours. I don't know how she did it, but in 24 hours, she did a course I designed to be done in a month. So it's a great course. So I have Reset Mindset online as well. That's a $600 course you go on. It's about resetting all this stuff, all the traumas and PTSD and the stuff that's all in your head that you've just been wrestling with and struggling with. It's a great online course, and it's designed to fit into the crevices of your life. So it's not work per se. It's just resetting everything. They have this thing called mini volcanoes where if you have volcanoes, I call upsets. You know when you get upset, it's like a explosion.
Oh, yeah. So, you know what
you know, right? So we have this thing called mini volcanoes on there. And they're easy 10-minute little interval videos to kind of get you through volcano moments where you get upset. Because all my clients, I give them this option of 24/6 because Sunday I'm off and I decompress and refuel my soul. 24/6, if they're having a moment, it's called a volcano. Where they're like, Sean, I need you. And I call them, and we get through it together, or I text them, and we get through it together. And if they have a win, it's called an avalanche. Like, oh my God, I had a win, Sean, based on the coaching you gave me. My mom and I are talking now, or I found the man of my dreams, or I got my dream job, or I completed that trauma from being molested or raped or whatever it may be. So I go there with people. We go really deep. I call it the rabbit hole. So we go down the rabbit hole when I coach you, and we get really authentic, and we get all that trauma out of the way. That's my specialty, is getting all the stuff out of your way that you've been holding on to, that no one works for you.
Where do we go when we want a one-on-one session with you? Do we DM you on Instagram?
You email me or DM me. You call me. You can email me at SeanAntonioBooks@gmail. SeanAntonio. Okay, SeanAntonioBooks@gmail.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just email me there personally, or you can just reach out to me on Facebook, or DM me on the Fire series, or like I said, just straight email. I'm a personal call kind of guy. So if I get your email, I'm just going to call you and say, hey, Sean here. What's up? Let's go. And so I'm that guy. I'm all hands on deck. So yes, immediately. And right now I have a couple openings. So I just wrapped up a couple of people. So I have a couple openings right now. So if you're down to shift your life now, I'm the guy. Let's do it.
And I think you'd be great at the couples thing, because I want to point out how the nightclub scene is. The nightclub scene is you're throwing parties, girls are throwing themselves at you left and right. And
Yes.
you always had your wife by your side. You were always super
Yep.
loyal to her. You never looked at anybody. You know, you'd give everybody, hey, what's up? You were never flirty with all these girls that would throw themselves at you. And I think
Yeah,
that's
'cause-
great. And your relationship survived that nightclub life.
Well, you know what, too? Thank you for acknowledging that. I'm a very flirty person by nature, and I'm very physical, but a lot of my best friends are women. So for me, I have this really great respect for women. I grew up with women, too. So, yes, I got flirted with a lot because, as you can tell, I'm an energetic, charismatic dude, right? I'm just like, hello, I'm Sean, what's up?
Yeah.
So I have a thing where I have so much respect and fun and play with women that even before being married now, I'm coming up on 8 years being married. June 18th will be 8 years. And we renew our vows everywhere. Usually every year we renew our vows somewhere different, right?
That's awesome.
This year it'll be quarantined, so we'll be doing it, I guess, at home. Who knows? But you know what? Thank you for acknowledging that, because even my previous girlfriend and the girlfriend before that and the girlfriend before that, because I started nightlife here in LA in 1999, and I had a series of 4 serious 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year girlfriends. And I always had this thing about just including them in my life, in everything I did. So my girlfriends, and my last girlfriend, she actually worked my doors for years when we were together, and even after we broke up, she worked my doors for years here in LA. So I always wanted to include them on my journey and always support my girlfriends in whatever they were doing. So whatever they would do, I'd take an active interest in it and say, all right, how can I be the boyfriend that supports you in getting that dream fulfilled? So that's why. And for me, I think when you're in a relationship, be in it. Just be in it. Be in the relationship. Be committed to it. And if not, get out. Because then you're just suffering over nothing. And this is why I got this tattoo that says never settle on my hand. My never settle tattoo is all about you getting really clear about what you're settling for in your life. And I don't want to settle for anything less than extraordinary, ever, 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 ever. And I got this in 2011. And ever since then, I've been honoring it and being the person who just stands in that. You got to be the example of who you say you are, right? So that's what I do. Simple.
So in these books, do you describe some of your struggles and what you've overcome?
Actually, I share a little bit about me because these books aren't about me. They're about you, right?
Right now.
So, for example, in Be the Beast You Are, I go into a little bit of a personal example stuff, right? But I go into how you get to your beast, like how to uncover your beast, how to feed your beast, and I give you tools to actually keep your beast alive. So this is what this book gives for you. So it really, whatever your beast is for you, you can uncover it in these pages. And it's a very how-to. Like, for example, in my chapter 2, one of my favorite chapters is about human noise. All the noise in our heads that run us, that actually get in the way. Just all the things that, and we all have it. I say it here. We all have it. It's human noise. We all have it. And it's really, honestly, each chapter is like 2, 3, 4 pages, and that's it. You get into it. So I give you tools to actually activate the breakthroughs in your life. So that's what this book does. And then having amazing relationships, I go into 8 different areas that we call relationships. First of all, I start with ourselves. So with you, right? So how's your relationship with yourself? That's where I go first. So that chapter is the biggest because from you comes everything, right? We are the source of how our life goes, right? And then I go into our parents or parental figures or grandparents, or if we were foster kids, whoever your first 2 people or one person that raised you or inspired you, I go into a relationship with them, whether they're here or not, if they died or not. And then we just go down the gamut. I go through, siblings, if you're an only child, your coworkers, your cousins, your outside family. And then I go into romance and love. How's that for you? And each thing I have in that book, a thing called the relationship tool. So we talk about the what, the why, the how, the when, and where you may have been blaming other people for how your life goes and other things that get in the way of you being truthful. So I take you there. And every time that you hit a wall or a border or a thing that you think is an outside circumstance, I have you turn the finger at yourself. And I give you what there is to do. So it's actually beautifully confronting. That's kind of how I wrote my books, to have you be able to lock yourself in a room or whatever it looks like for a day and just take in the book and then practice it actively in your life such that your life just changes because you're at the source of it. That's the way I do it.
No, that is so important, because a lot of times people are like, oh, you know, everyone's ex was the worst person in the world. And it's like, why? Why do you think that? You chose that person. That's not a good description. I don't either, but I'm saying it's good. That's always a red flag when someone says that. But you notice that you hear that a lot.
Anybody. Yeah, I don't villainize them. All of my ex-girlfriends were amazing humans. I wish them the best in life. I love them all. Some I'm still super close with, and some I haven't seen in forever. But I chose them. They chose me.
Right.
They created part of my history. They're a part of my story. They gave me the ability to become the amazing man that I am for my wife today. So all those things that I learned through all the women I dated before, whether it was for a month or 2 or 5 years, whatever it was, I acknowledge it. I actually thank all my exes for all the things. Good times, hard times, whatever it was. Yeah, they taught me. They gave me, I'm 45 now, about to be 46 in May, and I'm grateful for
my gosh, you look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Happiness, man. But, you know, I chose them, and I flash back to all of them, and all I can do is smile, you know? And we had our moments, but I can just smile and appreciate them.
So you explain that a lot to the people that come to you and have all this, where they're like, my ex is this and that, and you're like, hey, this is what's really going on here.
Yeah, I really take the mirror and have you look at both, because people, okay, I get it. We all have breakdowns, right? We could all have the ex from hell and that person, this person, but the truth is you were in it too. Who are you being? So I always point the finger when they come at me with their thing. I'm kind of rude sometimes. I go, oh, it's so boring, because all I'm hearing about is the complaint about who she or he was.
Right.
What about you? What part did you play that you weren't living at your best? And if they were so terrible, why'd you stay in it? What does that say about you? So that's the thing. I really get into people's life and I go, hey, I get it. Sometimes people are terrible and they're projecting their stuff on you. But the truth is, you stayed, right? So if you're in an abusive relationship or something and you don't choose to get out, and ladies out there, men out there who are in currently abusive relationships, I'm not trying to disrespect what you're in, because I know some people are stuck in their relationships for whatever circumstances. Domestic abuse is real, right? But the truth is, we can always choose us. And that's why I think I look younger than when I knew you. I'm just happier, because I'm choosing happiness and choosing to work.
I don't know. You've always had a positive aura about you, and you're always energy, no matter what time of the day or night it was.
Yeah, and that also is a choice. But you know what? I mean, that's the thing. I don't really allow my clients to blame other people. When I say allow, of course I'll hear them out. You know, I hear the first conversation we have on the phone, I usually just let them talk. I ask them, give me everything you want to work on. And whether it's 1 area, 2 areas, 10 areas, and I let them talk. And I take notes and I go, all right. And then we get to work. And within 12 sessions, your life is unrecognizable. And my mantra lately is, I want to be your life coach that becomes as useless as possible as soon as possible in your life.
That's
because I don't want to coach you forever. I don't.
I love that.
I want you to go out there and live your life. I want to give you my books. I want you to do my online courses. I want to coach you for 12 sessions. And then let's just be friends while you're crushing life. While you're out there just going, bah, 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 you know, like that's what I want. So I don't believe that it's anyone's fault until you hold yourself accountable for what it is. You got to hold yourself. You got to be responsible for it.
That's a very big and important word right now, accountability.
Accountable. And responsibility, we got to be that. And if we're not going to be that, it's not going to work out. That's just that truth. It's that's the way I look at it, you know?
I love that energy.
I mirror people. Yeah, I put people's mirror in front of them, because it's all of our faults, right? It is. When we're in something, we have to take responsibility for being in. That's it.
Well, and that's what I love about you, and that's why I think these books are going to be good, and I really think you walk the walk just because you're still in LA with all the distractions. A lot of times people are like, oh, we're going to move, we're going to put our kids here and there, and you're like, no, you could be anywhere and be the best you, and I like that.
Yeah, it's all about you. Wherever you go, there you are. That's been a mantra I've had forever. Wherever you go in the world, there you are. So wherever you show up, it's on you. It's not about the circumstance or the reason, and that's what we've all told ourselves over the years. Humans have we've all enrolled each other in that. It's about the circumstances, about the reasons, it's about the story, it's about the past. No, wherever you go, if you're awesome, you're gonna be awesome anywhere. That's it. It's up to you to not suck. I want to write a book called Just Don't Suck. But I'm not going to. But I think that'd be a funny book to write, like Just Don't Suck.
I love that. Well, no, and I like that too right now because everyone, you know, we can use the quarantine as excuse, but it's still, we still have our own minds and we can go beyond even if we're stuck at home.
Yeah, very, very true. I agree with that.
So that's why it's a good time to buy your book right now. And I want to get some for my friends.
Yeah, go on Amazon. They're $8 a book. I made them cheap.
I like that.
You know, I wanted them to be $8 just so people can buy them. There's no excuse as to why everybody could have $8. You know, I'm not saying everybody does, but
no, and I love it because like for Christmas, I could give everybody a book, and it's like for $100, I can give 10 people books. That's pretty dope.
Exactly. Dude, Sparkle, I've had so many of my friends buy 10 packs and 20 packs. I had a friend buy 40 books one time. I autographed all of them. He has a law office, and he just gave them to his clients. He's like, hey, this is for my friend. He's an author. Here, this is just a gift for you being my client. He bought, and I went over there with a big box, signed them all. He bought a bunch of. And
no, that's good. And I'm a personal trainer, so this really goes hand in hand. What you wrote. Do you write anything about fitness?
No, but I write about the discipline it takes to be fit. Does that make sense? I write about the mindset.
Because I know you're so fit, and I know you went your cleanses and you did all that, so I just didn't know if you put any of it. Yeah.
No, I don't in these books specifically because I don't consider myself a fitness guru. I consider myself a discipline guru, you know? Or as one of my clients calls me, a lift-up guru. He's like, every time I need you, I call you my lift-up guru. But, yeah, so it's been awesome. So I want to end with this, Sparkle, if this is okay with you. I just want to plug a couple things. This year for 2020, I want to know what everybody is doing to really up your game. Even though we're all in this quarantine, what are we doing to really step our life up, and who are we going to become coming out of this? I want everybody to walk out of this being the person they've always dreamed of being. No excuses, no bullshit, no stories, none of that stuff. Come out on fire, like lit up and doing what really makes you happy. So take this time to reinvent and redesign yourself such that nothing stops you from being that. And if you struggle, look up my books on Amazon and you'll get them. And if not, email me, and you can buy my books and email me, SeanAntonioBooks@gmail.com, and I will coach you personally. Reach out to me. And that's the way you can do it. And follow me in the Fire series on Instagram, and it's game on. It's game on.
Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate this. You just lifted up my day.
Yay, good. Well, let's do this more often, you and I, Sparkle. I'm down.
For sure.
And thanks to all you listeners out there for listening and to getting my crazy ass energy. I never stop. That's the way I am. So, game on.
Thanks, Sean.
You're so welcome, Sparkle. Great to be with you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh, I'm begging you now, yeah. People, I'm down on my knees, begging, please, oh please, could you learn to love?